And so we have that great chance to develop the relationship with the patient because they keep on coming. And I've been very, very blessed. I have patients who were coming to me for 25 years.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental Office Managers Community Podcast, where we talk about the issues that matter most and help us to become better leaders in our dental practice. I'm your host, Kyle Summerford. Let's dive right in. Hey guys, it's Kyle, and we are back for another episode of the Dental Office Managers Community Podcast. Today, we have with us our special guest, Emily Letran. Emily, thank you so much for coming on here with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm on here, I guess, illegally as a dentist.
That's okay. That's okay. We love dentists too.
Okay.
Cool. So, I wanted to bring you on here because even though you are a dentist, you also have I guess, is a side business or something that you're very passionate about. And we have spoke in the past at a SCN meeting. And so, when I learned a little bit more about you, I thought your story was very unique, and I wanted to bring you on here just so that you can kind of share your story and, we can get to learn a little bit more about you and what it is that you do. So maybe share a little bit background on how you found your way into dentistry.
Yeah, so I'm actually was born in Vietnam born in Vietnam, and then I came to the US as a refugee, and this is a while back in 1981. And I've been very blessed to get government help, I get grants, and I got scholarship. And I got introduced to dentistry when I was trying to make my decision what to do, right? After undergrad. What I do enjoy the most in dentistry is the relationship, because I think we're very lucky we got that business model where patients are supposed to come in and see us, every 6 months or once a year. And so we have that great chance to develop the relationship with the patient because they keep on coming. And I've been very, very blessed. I have patients who were coming to me for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so several years ago, I have this calling, right, to help other people uh, enjoy their life more. We put it that way. So over my 30, it's going to be 32 years, I think, um, in dentistry, the what I've learned is to make sure that you can run your business and you can have your personal life. And I think the only way to do that is to have a great team, right?
Yeah.
People you can trust, people you can delegate, people you can empower. I always tell people, my goal is to do the least amount of work, right? And that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you don't work, because sometimes the work is up here, right?
Right.
The planning and all that. And I'm really glad to have met you at SCN, because I think office managers, I personally think office managers know everything. And what I mean by that is they know the building and all that, and they know all the gossip, right?
Yeah. The
And
gossip
then
for
and then
sure.
they and then they know what's going on with the doctor, right? So they
Yeah.
really know everything. And for me, if I can help, we'll say bridge that gap, right?
Hmm.
Where the office manager can help the doctor set the correct expectations, because that's where a lot of the stress is. I thought you're gonna do that, then you didn't do it, right? I thought we were
Yeah.
gonna hit, I don't know, 1 million, and we didn't hit 1 million, and I'm spending all this money on marketing or whatever.
Yeah.
And so to bridge that gap by setting realistic expectation, and if the expectation is challenging, to give the team the tools and, the support so they can do whatever the doctor wants to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes some doctors, you do have to bring them back down to earth, right? Because they don't do certain things, and then they expect results
Results.
to happen. So for me, because I've always have a couple of offices at a time, and it's multi-specialty, and it's different modalities, like it's a mix HMO and PPO and Medicaid and cash and all that. So I think I'm very lucky in kind of knowing quite a few things.
Mm.
Um, compared to, let's just say, the typical dentist who have one office and take one insurance, or only take insurance, or only do fee for service, where they may not have that, kind of the overview of, what works. Because
Right.
I've had those multiple modalities over, it's gonna be 27 years that I have my own office. So it's, I can kind of speak to all of them. If somebody's complaining, okay, this doctor is doing this, and then my doctor want me to do that, I can see why.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important, is when you advising somebody, and you can actually put yourself in their shoes. And I think I'm lucky in that I've seen it from both sides, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm very, very, um, you can call it pro team, okay, your team, figure it out and do it.
Right.
I'm gonna guide, and I'm gonna let you know what I expect. But I think the more people can figure things out for themselves, which is where my coaching side come in, the better that they'll be more confident because they know they
Yeah.
figure it out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. And I love that you have, this two sides, right? You
Hmm.
have the dentistry side and as the owner, and then you also have the team side as the business, right?
Right.
Um, and so, you know, if I would say when it comes to putting those two together, right? What is it that what's like one thing you can recommend for teams to work like harmoniously together,
Hmm.
right?
I think, and this may come from an older person, right? Like you've been around for a
Well,
while.
I've been in
Uh,
dental for 22 years and you said
yeah.
32, so I mean, we're not that
Yeah.
far off,
Yeah.
right?
No, we're talking to the people in general, right? Because
Yeah,
sometimes they're
true, yeah.
young team members.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important thing, and most of us don't look at this, to be honest, because I never did until I get older, is values.
Mm,
Okay. I don't really care whatever you write in your mission. You can write whatever you want, right? Like the doctor. I mean, I'm gonna write this mission, and the
yeah,
team agree with it, or whatever it is. But what are the values? What's most important? I'll give you a very easy example. If I come in and I say, my value is family, right? Like that's one of my kind of non-negotiable value, right?
yeah.
And then the team member come in and say, doctor, can I leave early today because my son has a soccer practice? And I say, no, you can't, because we got patients,
Mm,
right? That's not in alignment with what I say, right? Or if let's say you do a denture try-in for, and this happened to me, like an older patient, they do denture try, you do a try-in, and they look at it and they go, well, I need to ask my wife, or sometimes I need to ask my kids. So now we're gonna have to reschedule you. So you can come back,
yeah,
and whoever can look at it, and then you approve the denture, right? Again, that's value. That's for
right.
the patient, that's the patient's value. And if I say no to that, then it's telling the patient, well, you say you value family, but
Mm,
I don't think you do, right?
yeah,
And I think there's a lot of that going on. And that's why I'm so passionate about coaching, is because there's a lot of time when people say one thing, they don't really mean it, right?
yeah.
Or
Yep.
or it's not that they don't mean it, but their action don't are not aligned with
Yeah.
that.
They're not
And
practicing.
they're not practicing. So
Yep.
that's why I say I don't care what you have on the wall as a value. Or
Yeah.
let's just say you have younger staff, and one of their value is to have fun. I mean, that could be a value, right? Like,
No.
hey, let's say we're gonna go party every Friday night, right? If you're gonna book your schedule until 6 and expect them not to be distracted,
Mm,
you don't understand their value, right? They probably
right.
want to leave at 5. I,
I think they
I
all
rem-
wanna leave at 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? It's funny. I remember many years ago, I would take my team to Vegas every year, and it's funny because I would take them out to dinner, and then they dress nice for dinner, and then everybody come back to their room, and now all of a sudden they like dress really nice, right?
Mhm.
And it's 11 p.m. and didn't we already go to dinner? And they go, yeah. So now they're getting ready to go party,
Right.
right? And I mean, I wasn't going with them, but I go, oh, okay. I mean, because, one of the first few times I didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
But same thing, if that's their value, so it's not just your value, but it's their value, right? So if you're gonna go and do a 2 days event, well, then I plan, hey, we're gonna end at this time and make sure you guys can go and party or whatever, or we
Right.
all gonna go see a show together, okay? Because I think that's understanding the value, and
Yeah.
it is if the doctor is offering money and bonus, and the staff want time, right? I want
Mhm.
I want to be able to leave early. We years ago, I stopped counting after baby number 10th in the office, right? This one's pregnant, that one's pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more than 10 babies over the 30 years. But what happened is I have a very simple rule. Okay, just one person pregnant at a time if you can help it, right? Because there was one time when 3 or 4 were pregnant and I was one of them. Uh, but I would say, hey, for your maternity check, right? Just do it first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening, right?
Mhm.
Like if we work till 6, if you can get a 4 o'clock appointment, please book the 4 o'clock appointment. So at
Right.
least I know you're here most of the day because we coming in to serve the patients,
Right.
right? So it's very
Yeah.
disrupting if you say, oh, my appointment's at 11 and we're okay. So are you working in the morning or are you working in the afternoon? And
Yeah.
if we haven't cross-trained everybody and you're the only one who can do that, then we have to prep for it, right? So if you're the
Yeah.
one calling insurance to verify, then I will need you to do all of that.
Yeah.
And then you can come in late,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
yeah, so understanding that, and what I'm talking about is it could be from a doctor view or from a manager view, right? Because now you
Yeah.
have to take kind of everybody situation into account, and then you have to decide, I have flexibility here or I don't have flexibility here. I tell people, look at the days specialists come in, those are the days that no, you cannot take off. No, do
Mm.
not book your maternity day on those
Yeah.
days. The specialist coming once a month, just avoid that day for me,
Right.
right?
Right.
You know, and I think these come with the if you say that's your value,
Right.
then you need to be able to look at that, and the staff too, right? Hey,
Yeah.
you say you want to do your best and you want this and you're going to do this for the office. Well, don't ask for the day off when the specialist is there. I mean, if you have a kid thing, that's not something that you can fix, right?
Right. Right.
But and then when people leave too, like people quit, and I go, okay, you can quit. You need to bring a replacement, right? and
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
say this jokingly,
Right.
but that's what the staff do. I go,
Yeah.
okay, I'm quitting, I'm going there. Let me ask around to see if somebody can come in and
Mm.
sub for, and take my place. And that person is the best person with bad, yeah, I mean, good or bad, right? But they will tell whoever coming in the truth.
Right.
This office is this way, this doctor is this way.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't need
Yeah.
to, I don't want you to say something that, don't sugarcoat it. They come in and they find out that I'm a little crazy, right? So might as well come in.
Surprise. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they run out the door. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
value is very important, it sounds like. Value is something that
Mhm.
they have to be in alignment with.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yeah,
So that I guess that's how conflicts happen, right? If their
in a
values aren't
way,
aligned.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure you've heard this before, where somebody may go into a group and they would write, anonymous, right?
Mhm.
And they say something like, "Doctor is doing X, and I don't think that's ethical,"
Right.
right? And what do I do, right? And those are things that you don't want to have to deal with that.
Right.
But if you know that ethics is important to the doctor, right? Then when the doctor does certain things, and yeah, you can come and tell the doctor, I thought this was important, but
Mm.
something, right? Can you explain to me? And I think when we actually mean what we say, and if a staff confront it, let's say for me, I'll be okay with it. Yeah, I did say that we're gonna do this, and then I'm not doing it, whether I forgot or whatever the situation is that didn't let me to do that. I think I would be open to that discussion rather
Mhm.
than being very, very close-minded about it.
Yeah, I think, and I've seen that in the group before too,
Mhm.
because there are some things that go on out there. I mean, I've worked in other practices in the past that I didn't agree with certain things, you know? It was kinda like,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's not right," you know?
Right,
Uh,
right, 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 right.
and so the challenge even for me as an office manager, you know, I think it's more so like, how do you open up that awkward conversation,
Hmm.
right? How do you
Hmm.
approach that? Like, what would you as a dentist and a coach, how would you kind of what advice would you give on that?
You know, it's always good to reframe what was said or what you believe to be true. So, for example, we go back to the family story, right? If I were to say, uh, you know what, doctor, I want this time off, right? And let's say the doctor say, no, you cannot, right? Or whatever it is. And then you just reframe and you bring it back. You know, I understand that that you say family is very important, right? I understand that we want to give the best value for the patient. And you're being a cheapskate. No, just kidding.
It's funny. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
but when you put that back in that person's corner, you
Yeah.
said this, you advised this, you preached this, right? And now I'm seeing this. So can you help? Can you explain so I can understand? I'll tell you one of my pet peeve. Okay, one of my pet peeve when I was an associate is the doctor sending the staff home when it's slow.
Yeah, that
Okay,
happens.
and I get so mad at that. And then one time it was funny because he sent me home, and my friend was still there, right? And no, actually, I'm sorry, the other way around. He sent my friend home and I was there. And my friend was younger than me, right? So I'm like, why did he send you home and keep me here? Well, it turned out because he was getting paid more than me.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
and I
I
didn't
was
know
gonna say.
when we came in to negotiate. I didn't know how to negotiate. I go, what? You're getting paid how much a day? And you know, that's why he sent him home, right?
Yeah.
But that was one of my pet peeves. So I do not send people home, right? And I
Mm,
tell them that. I say, I really don't want to send you guys home. I mean, let's say the day fall apart or whatever, but you know, find something to do, right? You
right.
have a list of things that you could do
Oh,
in your
yeah.
downtime.
Always
So
things to do.
yeah, if you doing that, I don't want to send you home. But if
Right.
you're not doing that, and I already asked you to do it, then yeah, I'm gonna send you home. Whether or not I say,
Right.
okay, that's one of the things that I don't do, but now I have to do it because of the way you are, right? So I think whenever you're approaching conflict or whenever you want to show a different perspective, however you want to put it, right? Um, you don't need to prove yourself right, right? You just present these are the two things, and I don't think we're in agreement and or whatever it is. Okay, tell me how would you like to solve this? Or especially the doctor would tell the manager, go tell her to do this, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know that you're stuck in the middle,
Right.
right? So what you can do is you can put it back to the doctor and say, doctor, can you explain to me these two things and how would you want me to solve that, right?
Mm,
To represent you, right?
right.
Or the staff want to complain to the doctor, same thing. Okay, how would you want me to go tell the doctor this? And usually these are personal things, because if it's business, a lot of times the manager know how to handle it. But if
Right.
it's something personal, it's a little bit harder. I used to two staff are fighting with each other. I
Hmm.
tell them, I'm requesting you two to go to lunch together.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I am
to work
paying
it out.
for I am paying for lunch, or I pay for the beer or whatever after work. You go talk to each other, right? And at
Yeah.
least they get through that, and then they come back and then they're gonna fight again. But it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like everybody, right? You just have to work together.
Right.
So I think, so I'm also a Kobe consultant, right? So because I like the Kobe because I think it's the simplest one of all the tests out there. But I can just know, okay, that's your strength. This is my strength,
Right.
and your strength is not my strength. So we always see things different,
Mm,
right? But we know that we can do the work. So why don't we just focus on that and just do the
right.
work? And I think that's a challenge in a lot of our offices
Oh,
is
yeah.
the comparison. I
Yep.
do this faster than her. How come she's not getting faster? So then
Yeah.
now I end up doing more, right?
Yep. That
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Yeah. I mean, I see that time and time again where, you know, sometimes a staff member will say, "Well, that's not my job. That's this person's job." It always kind of like I didn't I didn't really get to where I am as an office manager by saying, "Oh, well, that's not my job." I've
Mm-hmm.
always kind of just said, "Okay, let me learn this because this
Mm-hmm.
will make me better," right? But I see that very often in practices, and I've also spoke with other office managers that have this issue with staff where they don't really seem like team players, and I mean maybe that's what I'm perceiving it as well,
Mm-hmm.
you're not a team player. So how would you recommend um someone to kind of, you know, maybe help the situation where it's like you're not doing more but you're helping us as a team? Like how do you have a conversation like that?
Right. So I think one of the things is to be flexible, right?
Mm,
I know some consultants come in and say, this is the list of your duties,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
honestly, if you work with me, I will always find one more thing for you to do. Right? We go to the seminar and we'll, oh yeah, I'll do that. And I come back and I say, oh cow, so one more thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go and I'm not gonna revise this whole list and every time I add stuff on it, right? But let's just say you have a list of 10 things for the dental assistant. Let's just say, right? And you know that of the 10 things, maybe three of them are critical, right?
Mm,
The other seven, if she didn't do it today, nobody dies, right? Like uh I'm a very flexible person. We just had a very long day and we have a bunch of dirty instruments. All I'm asking is tomorrow at 9, what are the procedures? Do you have the instrument for that? Okay, let's go home. You
mm,
know?
I see.
Because
I see.
I can come in and just function at 9 and then somebody's gonna sterilize these.
Right.
But again, I know I'm a little weird, right? But be flexible. So yes, you can have a list of duties. You can have something that you tell the members, the team members, okay, these are the things that I actually need you to do because this is where you're the expert,
Right.
right? Okay. But if the phone ring, I do want you to answer the phone
Mm,
and get the name, phone number, what they calling about. But guess what? If they want to book an appointment, I do need you to be able to look at the appointment and book
yeah.
the appointment, right? Or at
Right.
least look at it and say, oh, there's an opening at 10. Okay, so I'm going to write a note here for Kyle. John Doe call and he wants
Right.
an appointment at 10. So then you can add it in. At the same time, if you're on the front, and this is very true for us when we have specialists come in, right? They make a mess in every single room and then and
Yeah.
then they're working on the patient. And
Right.
then you're supposed to check in the next one. Guess what? You don't have a room. It would be really nice if you can just go and just clear that room. I don't need you to
Right.
sterilize. I need you to be able to know to break it down and to set it up and put all the basic there,
Yeah.
right? So you can have a list of duties, but be flexible that yes,
Mm,
sometime I will ask you to do that,
I
right?
see.
Um, and be open to it because that's what you're saying is, but you're a team, right? Because
Right.
honestly, if you work in the front, let's say you're the receptionist and the phone ring nonstop, do you think I would expect you to go to the back and help? No, right?
Right.
Because that's gonna already be overwhelming for you, right?
Yeah.
If you're the office manager or the treatment coordinator, or you do both of those, right? And you're in there talking to a patient, um, and presenting a big treatment plan. No, I'm not gonna drag you over here to tell this patient today you need SRP.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the assistant can tell the patient, by the way, today you need SRP according to your insurance. They pay half, you pay half. Like
Yeah.
how hard is that? Is really not that hard,
Right.
right? And so I share this with people sometimes, but people always tell me, oh, the billing is hard or whatever. The very first practice that I almost bought, I remember I came in for an interview and I remember the doctor shaking my hand and he go, when do you want to buy my practice? And I'm just like, wait a minute. And he literally just left me there
Wow.
and I just ran the office, right? But this is the part I want to tell you. This is the day when you were still doing billing by hand.
Oh yeah.
And one of my
Hmm.
staff, she speaks more Spanish, right? She can speak some English, but the majority of it in Spanish. And downtime, there's no patient. I told her, I'm gonna teach you how to do billing. And I said, here's the form. If you look at the form, it's patient name, patient, like all of these things that is in the chart. How hard is
Yeah.
it for you to copy it over, right?
Right.
And there's frequent codes that we always look,
Hmm.
X-ray exam. She was doing the billing, okay, and she doesn't speak a lot of English, but she
Well,
can see from here to here. And when
right.
we write progress note, I always write the procedure I do first, and then I write the whole gave patient 2 copies or whatever. So all she
Mm.
needed to do was to read that first few lines,
First line.
four DO, 5 MO, whatever it is. So she was doing the billing.
That's helpful. That's
It,
helpful.
it is because what I'm doing is she knows how to read, right? She can read the words. She can do that. And this is in downtime. And if she's
Yeah.
doing recall, well, okay, so why don't you skip all the English speaking patient? Why don't you just call the one that speaks Spanish? So so I think
Yeah.
I'm flexible in that way. Why I will look at things and say, you know what, you can do 100%, but you can do 60. Let me find the 60%,
Mm. Yeah.
right? And I think when
Yep.
you're open to that and you're flexible and it's like you always try to give people what they can do,
I see. Yeah.
then I think people will feel more comfortable.
Got it. Got it. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Food for thought. So yeah, I like that. Now let me ask you a question. So Emily, you know, there's there's a term that's there's a dental consultant, and then there's the term uh a coach, right?
Mhm,
And so you are a high performance coach.
mhm.
So what is the difference between a consultant or, a coach and a high performance coach?
Okay. Well, I'm actually both coach and consultant, and let me
Okay.
explain what it is. Okay. So a consultant is somebody who, to make it real simple, they will tell you what to do.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, if you say, okay, um, consultant Emily, we want more new patients, right? Uh, I will say, okay, you can do Facebook ads, you can do referral contests. Okay, you can send out specials and ask people to share. You can do healthcare booth. You can do blah 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 blah. Right. So I'm giving you the different ways to bring in more new patients. That's a consultant. A coach, when you say I want more new patients, as a coach, I would say why? Why do
Mm,
you want more new patients? And then you say, well, I want to make more money, right? And I may say, okay, does most of your income come from new patients or does it come from existing patients?
mm,
And you may say, the majority of my money come from existing patients. People will come back and then they do the big cases. And and I would say, okay, do you think you already maximize, the value of your existing patients?
mm.
And then you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do is I'm gonna ask questions
I see.
so you can get very clear why you want more new patients,
Mm,
right?
gotcha.
Because if you have 10 new patients come in and obviously you do exam for all 10 of them, but 2 of them started treatment, you have 8 left.
Right.
My indirect question is, have you tried to close the other 8?
Mm,
Because I
hmm,
could easily give you those ways like the consultant, but you
right.
actually have 8 patients away that you're supposed to close, right?
Yeah.
But once you come to the conclusion, you know what? No, I think I need to close these 8 patients, then now the conversation is different, right?
Mm,
So then I would say, okay, so how do you follow up with your patient when they didn't start? And then you give me the answer. So eventually, so with the coaching, what happened is I will ask you questions so you figure out the answer.
mm,
And then you take action based on that. Now, if you're stuck, of course, I can always give you an answer, but it's better because it now you know, right? It would be like if you tell me, okay, Emily, the schedule keep falling apart.
Right.
Okay. A consultant may say, I think you should just double book.
Right.
In case column one didn't show up, you have
Right.
column two or column three, right? Or or I may say, the consultant may say, did you check with your receptionist and make sure she knows how to book? Did she confirm, 2 days before or whatever,
Yeah.
those things, which is kind of telling you what to do. Um, a coach may say, why do you think they don't show up?
Mm. Right.
Because then it could be multiple things. Well, she didn't confirm or whatever. And a lot
Yeah.
of time, we
Yeah.
all know a lot of time the answer is they may not have seen the value, right? So they book
Right.
the appointment and then they flake,
Yep.
right? So now when you're talking about, okay, they didn't see the value of the appointment, then you would kind of have to go back. Well, did we actually explain it to them? Did we put an urgency to it? Did we do all of those things? So where the
Mm.
patient make an appointment, they're gonna keep it and they're committed to it. And if they cannot come, they're gonna call you 2 days before to
Right.
let you know, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So that's the difference between the two. Now, the high performance coaching is I actually got certified in that. So what I do is, let's say, for example, the office manager. So let's say your group, right? People say, I want to be a high performer. It actually is a curriculum that we
Mm.
go through. It's 12 hours. Okay. And I know for a fact that you will become a higher performer than when you came in.
Wow.
And we address things like clarity, energy, productivity, courage, influence, um, psychology, physiology,
Wow.
persuasion, purpose. So notice none of that has anything to do with dentistry.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is you as a person.
The person. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
That's
this is you
amazing.
as a person. Now, we could talk about productivity and you could say, okay, productivity, my team's not productive, whatever, right? Or you could say, I get home and I'm tired and I don't have time for my kids and I don't have time for my husband, or I want to go to yoga and I have no time. That's also part of the productivity, how you manage your time, right?
Right.
And so when we in that curriculum, we talking, whatever you bring in to discuss, it could be business or it could be personal.
Mm.
So that one is actually a program.
I like
Like,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Emily, okay. So, let's say some of our members are interested in this program.
Mhm.
Um, how can some of our members reach out to you? Do you have a website? Is there an email you can share with us?
Yeah, they can email me. Okay, they can email Dr. Emily Letran at gmail.com. Is I'm sorry, Coach Emily Letran at gmail.com. So CoachEmily at gmail.com. I think what would be great is if you like to do that, I can create a page and share the link with you and then give a very special prize for the managers in the group. Um, and so that way we know that we are serving the whole community and they get the advantage of being in this group. Because I'll tell you right now, it's for me, with all the training that I have, your best bet to success is to get everybody performing at a higher level,
Right. I
right?
agree with you.
And it's
Yeah.
not just, can you hurry up? You're the hygienist. Can you?
Yeah. Do
It's
this.
that,
Hurry up. Next
yeah,
patient. Yeah.
yeah, we just gonna book you more and whatever,
Right.
whatever. A lot of time it depends on what you want to do. Like, what is your goal? Right?
Yeah.
If you just want to make a lot of money and then get out, maybe you should go work for like a really busy office
Mm.
because you know that they have volume, so they can probably pay you more, right?
Right.
Or you work for a really high-end office, which if you don't live in the area, what's the point, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I just want you to be where you are and you bring in so much more value
Hmm.
that your doctor wants to pay you more.
Got it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll actually you and I will work together and then we'll try to negotiate like a special offer for members of the community. And if anyone is interested in becoming a high performer, yeah, definitely they should reach out to you. So
Mhm.
that would be awesome. Well, listen, Emily, I appreciate you coming on here today, and I really just wanted to introduce you to the community, and hopefully we can work out maybe some future videos in the group, and try to bring some more education as well to our community. So I really appreciate you taking the time out today. Thanks for coming
Oh,
on.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to meet you last time and for the invitation today. Like I said, when I first started, I do feel that the office manager is the person who knows everything. And I think if you can function at a high level, and you leverage really your talent, right? This has nothing. When I'm going through the coaching program, it doesn't say let's go and subscribe to that and do that. It just,
Yeah,
this is where you are. These are the things that you can do to get to a higher level. And then the funny thing is once you get to the higher level, you know how people say when you stretch the rubber band or what, not the rubber band, but when your mind gets stretched, it doesn't go back.
yes,
Okay, this is one of those things.
got it.
Then you just start looking things at a different level.
Got it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sounds amazing. So, all right, Emily. So, thanks again for coming on today. Really appreciate you taking the time out. And guys, Emily Letran. And if you guys are interested, definitely reach out to her for her services. She's a high performance coach, and seems like an awesome person. So, Emily, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Take care,
Thank you.
and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.